So if I describe this game to you, what type of game would you think it is? Right? A big open city. Other players online wandering around with different areas all rated by level. There's XP for random events, discovering areas, completing quests and doing other side activities from bounty board. You have equipable abilities which you all have cooldowns. You have named enemies which drop varying degrees of rare loot. What kind of game would you think that is?
MMO.
You're clearly describing an MMO there, sir.
Yeah, that's the Division.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah. And they're saying no, it's an open world action game. So I spent maybe 4 or 5 hours with the Division beta, and I honestly don't have many good things to say about it. Like it's
a multiplayer open world action game.
It's third-person Destiny. In a nutshell, if you want to describe it in a sentence, it's a third-person Destiny. It seems like with the advanced technology that they've got now in the PS4 and Xbox One, they can do MMOs now, but they seem to be scared to say that it's an MMO because they don't want to put off the casual gamers who just play COD. Yeah, saying to them that they because their first thought is like World of Warcraft and shit like that.
Yeah,
so, like they seem to be scared to call it what it is, but the Division is an MMO. It's not
one of those instead of setting out and making an MMO, they just took all the elements of an MMO and stuffed it in.
Yeah, like the gameplay the gameplay loop of the Division is you get a mission off a board, you go from chest high wall to chest high wall, you take out like 2 enemies with 1 clip, then you move on to the next chest high wall, take out the next 2 or 3 enemies until you can press E to do some kind of interaction with a computer or something. Then you move on to the next chest high wall, and it's just that over and over again. That is.
But the thing is though,
sounds fun,
right? But the thing is, a lot of games are that. The difference is it a fun loop or not? That's the problem.
No, but the thing is with other games, like things like saying Destiny, because that'll be the game that gets compared to, right? In Destiny, you've got I can't even remember what they're called, but you have like little speed bikes, and you have variations. You have like turret sections, and you have things like where you have the melee weapon, like the sword thing, and like you have variations.
Eventually,
and stuff. Whereas this is just. Albeit it's just the beta, and they're showing you a vertical slice of the game, which is right at the start. They dump you at like level 4, and you can level up to like level 7, 8 or something. And you only see one section, but all it is you just wander around this small section of Manhattan, and you'll wander past a shop, and you'll see a couple of guys looting it. You'll shoot them, and you'll open a chest, and it might have a gun mod or something in it. And you just move on, and there's like 2 or 3. I think there's 3 story missions you can do in it, and the story missions are just you have to go round a small area and kill a dude who has a name, and that means they've got armor.
Right.
And then they take a little bit longer to kill. And
so is there none of the base building things that the trailers are talking?
Well, yeah, you can't do really any of it in the beta, but there's the first sort of place you go to is this hospital, and you can upgrade the different wings of the hospital, and they give you things like health buffs and shit like that. So like there seems to be those elements coming to the main game eventually.
And what about the? I'm trying to remember what they called it when they showed Dark it at E3, like the Dark Zone.
That's what was the last thing. So the Dark Zone is. It's a separate section that you can travel to, and it's I guess you call it their PvP area. And you all of the rarest loot and like the best stuff is there, and you have your own level system separate to the level system in the main game for that area. So like the Dark Zone leveling is purple, and then the normal one's like orange. So you might be level 20 in the main game, but you might only be level like 2 in the Dark Zone if you only just start going in there. And you can get specific gear for the Dark Zone from a Dark Zone vendor, which sits in like the corridor between the two, connects the 2 sections. And I spent very little time in there, and I found absolutely nothing. I just found some random guy shouting in Russian, and shooting at each other, and then I ran away. That was my main that was my experience with the Dark Zone, because they were all level 7 and I was level 1. I was like, yeah, fuck that.
So you can't really comment on the Dark Zone game.
No, I haven't played much, but
worries me.
But that's completely separate, and it's got its own separate leveling system. So you can complete the whole game and do everything that there is to do in the Division without ever having to touch it, if you don't want to. So if that kind of thing doesn't interest you,
the game, going along the MMO lines again, am I right in saying the game is designed to play in a squad of friends, basically?
Well, I did all of the missions by myself, and I didn't struggle at any point. I didn't get killed, or I wasn't in any danger at any point, really. But you can do the whole game with friends. And it's one of those things where it's going to be more fun with friends, because you're with your mates and that. But
and you can do tactics.
I wasn't at any point felt like, okay, this mission is clearly impossible unless you've got a group of 4 people in. They're all super easy to do by yourself.
But what I will say about it, obviously I haven't played it yet, but from their trailers, they don't claim for it to be any more than get loot, get better loot, fight better enemies, get better loot. It seems like they've gone the Diablo route, say.
Yeah.
And they're embracing it. They're not saying this is some big overworld action game.
No.
They're saying this is a survival game, basically, and the only way to survive is kill people and take their shit.
Yeah. But see, like, I'm not a huge fan of Diablo, and I know 90% of people are, but like for me, I get bored by the repetitive loop of the combat of. I know you have different abilities and you can upgrade and all this stuff, but I get bored by just going in this area, kill all these enemies, go to this area, kill all these enemies. Like, I compare that to, say, Borderlands, which is also level up loot system, where all of the missions have loads of different variety. That's what is going to hold me back from the Division. I think at its core, you get all these cool new upgrades. Like, you'll go through this mission to get a new stock for your gun, which gives it slightly more damage or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're going in one area, hiding behind a chest high wall, throw a grenade, go round, take the next guy out, and that's going to be the gameplay loop.
So did you get any of the abilities like
a lot of them are locked off in the beta, but like you can see what there is. And like the ones I had sticky grenades and I had a deployable shield. So like you could have you can stick stuff to the walls and then drag them out towards you to set up big explosions. And you can like there's one section where you have to defend somebody, so you can stick the deployable shield in front of them to give them extra cover while you try and flank the dudes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there are tactics based off the abilities you have.
It does seem to me in a very Destiny style.
It's Ubisoft's answer to Destiny to me.
Yeah, the only longevity of the game is if you get a group of people that all like playing it together.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the thing of slowly blast through the main campaign and then all go in and raid the Dark Zone and be dicks to other players.
Well, even the main story itself seems very there for the sake of it. There's a virus, there's a man shouting at you in a helicopter, there's been a break and there's bad things and there's bad people and you should go and stop the bad things from happening and stop the bad people. And
I'm guessing there's some kind of
umbrella
umbrella corporation as well.
Yeah, probably. Like I said, there's very little. You're just there on a helicopter with a lady and it looks like her eyeball's a bit knackered, and it's there for the sake of there having to be some kind of story. Like, I took no interest in it. Yeah, it did. I feel like if they didn't have to put cutscenes in it or anything like that, they wouldn't. To be fair, which is fine. But then you have to get the gameplay right.
It's probably going to be a case of they've put minimal story in there just to have it there, whereas I think it's more going to be the player interaction that's going to get
better to have shit story than no story.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah,
that was Destiny's thinking.
Yeah, Wizard on the Moon. Oh dear. But yeah, I played maybe 4 or 5 hours of it, and I saw everything there was to see. Essentially, that It's like there's the random events which just trigger of there's a dude with a name in this area now. You can go over to it and shoot that man.
Go and hunt him if you want.
Yeah, they just appear. But other than that, like I played all the story missions. I did the base building that you could do. I ran away from the scary Russian people in the PvP bit, and that I felt like I saw everything it was. And that's honestly, I don't think I'm gonna pick it up.
Get it?
No, I don't know. Especially with how many big games are coming out over the next sort of few months. I can't. That's on the back burner.
Probably be something. Maybe pick it up if you ever find it super cheap.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing where if you could pick up for 20 quid with 2 or 3 friends, then you could probably have a good time with it.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll probably look at initial reviews and stuff when it first comes. See how it goes. Yeah.